Sports that excite us and make our hearts race. If we had to choose the most popular one among them, it would undoubtedly be soccer. So why do we love this sport? What sets it apart from simply kicking a ball and makes it so special to us? To find the answer, we need to talk about the concept of total football, which marks the starting point of modern soccer. My name is Yunwoo and I'll guide you through the story. Let's begin. Before modern soccer started, basic position in soccer already existed. A common misconception is that players strictly stuck to their positions and played static soccer back then. However, even at that time, there were instances when players moved beyond their positions, like fullbacks overlapping, or forwards helping with defense. The main difference from today's soccer was that such movements were based solely on individual players' decisions, not coordinated teamwork. In the 1950s, before the concept of total football emerged, Hungary's national soccer team hinted at changes in soccer by showing revolutionary tactics like the false nine and sweeper keeper used in modern soccer. The real story begins in the Netherlands. In 1965, a man who would change soccer history took the role of head coach at AFC Ajax. His name was Rinus Michels. Originally, he wanted to dominate games by fielding more attackers. But his thinking aligned with Ernst Happel, efficient use of space, who was coaching Feyenoord Rotterdam. Michal started focusing on smaller spaces around the ball rather than the entire field, and he conceived a style where everyone would contribute to both attack and defense. This was the starting point of modern soccer, known as total football. As total football was executed, forwards began defending and defenders joined in attack. Johan Cruyff was the player who best embodied total football at Ajax under Michel's leadership. Later, as Cruyff became a coach, he carried forward Michel's total football, creating his own soccer philosophy known as Cruyffism. Total football's revolutionary style didn't only captivate the Netherlands. Italy's Arrigo Sacchi was also inspired by total football and developed his own style, Sacchism. Cruyff focused on soccer's time constraints. No matter how skilled the players or favorable the environments, if they failed to score within the 90-minute game, it was meaningless. He believed that dominating the game for 70 minutes would be enough to secure a win. Thus, he emphasized creating a numerical advantage in midfield by keeping a compact formation and maintaining high ball possession through intense pressing. He also preferred short passes to long ones, aiming to exploit gaps in the opponent's defense. Cruyff believed that continuous short passes would drain the opposing team's energy more than his own. When he was Barcelona's manager, Pep Guardiola played a central role in realizing Cruyffism. However, Cruyffism was not without flaws. Guardiola observed two key issues while at Barcelona. First, the high degree of coordination required for possession-based soccer meant that if one player caused disruptions, criticism could quickly collapse. Indeed, Mikhail Laudrup's ongoing conflicts with the manager led to a breakdown in Barcelona's teamwork, resulting in a devastating 4-0 loss to AC Milan in the Champions League final. To prevent this, Guardiola tolerated no disruptive players, which led to the transfer of the then top star Ronaldinho to AC Milan when Guardiola took over as Barcelona's manager. Another issue was that the total football strategy, which gathered players around the ball, sometimes led to overcrowding on one side of the field. If the opposing team moved into open spaces, total football could be easily dismantled. Guardiola found a solution by observing Real Oviedo's game, eventually joining Dorados, where former Real Oviedo coach Juan Leo had taken over. Leo's philosophy was simple: numerical superiority. He believed that having just one more player around the ball would create an advantage without compromising defensive balance. To communicate with this concept to his players, Guardiola divided the pitch into smaller zones and instructs players on specific movements. This approach evolved into the positional play widely used in modern soccer. Players no longer remained fixed in one area but constantly moved to create numerical superiority around the ball. As a result, Guardiola's Barcelona is often regarded as one of the strongest teams in soccer history. But even Guardiola's tactics faced challenges, such as being defeated by Bayern Munich in the Champions League semifinals. To understand how Munich dismantled the supposedly invincible Barcelona, we need to look at Sakism, which diverged from Cruyffism as another soccer philosophy rooted in total football. As AC Milan's coach, Arrigo Sacchi focused on soccer's spatial limitation rather than time, evolving the concepts of space control and pressing from total football. Sacchi used a 4-4-2 formation to evenly distribute players across the pitch, maximizing the chance to win the ball close to the opponent's goal. He reinterpreted the offside rule, employing a high defensive line to create dead space and limit the effective field space, making intense pressing visible. Sacchi believed that maintaining strong pressure required fitness over skill. Jurgen Klopp continued Sackism by introducing gegenpressing, a tactic of immediately pressing to regain possession after losing the ball. As Liverpool's manager, Klopp realized that gegenpressing imposed a high physical burden, increasing injury risks. To adapt, he adopted zonal pressing, where players only applied intense pressure where an opponent entered their designated zone. When Guardiola later managed Bayern Munich and Manchester City, he further refined positional play, deploying fullbacks in midfield to create a numerical advantage, a concept known as inverted fullbacks, which has influenced many coaches' tactics. Through these tactical revolutions, the England Premier League, now considered the best soccer league in the world, showcases various strategies rooted in total football. At Manchester City, short and precise passing with continuous positional movements dominates games. Conversely, Liverpool's strategy focused on disrupting opponents and quickly counter-attacking by having one player pressure each opponent. Tottenham Hotspur employs a tactic that expands on the concept of inverted fullbacks, pushing them deep into the opposition's box to create an advantage in dangerous areas. Chelsea uses inverted fullbacks and positional play to maintain position and dictate games through triangles. As the Premier League has evolved, so have complex tactics to secure victories. Johan Cruyff once said, "Football is a game you play with your mind." Just as he said, modern soccer has evolved from a game of individual brilliance to one of team collaboration and tactical execution. Looking ahead, it's likely that the fusion of Cruyffism and Sakism will shape the future of soccer tactics. With that, that's the end of my video. Thank you for watching.